things are just out of control in Europe and UK as the streets are now filled with these weird Islamic aggression all across the UK, Europe, and also in America. Because this is what's happened to London right now. Just take a look at how people are just absolutely destroying anything. And I mean, this is one of the most expensive cars. And it's really devastating right now to see that they're literally just destroying anything they would get on their way if you're not a Muslim. So there's this massive Islamic aggression that has just begun all over Europe and UK. And they've been destroying everything on the streets from buildings to public properties. And they've been protesting with a quote saying, "Free Palestine." And look at this. This right here is Amsterdam. What used to be one of the most beautiful cities in the world is now filled with protesters basically just forcing people in order to follow the Shahiri laws. And they're completely against all the Christians and all other religions. And it seems like it's finally time that they're making their massive move, and they're basically taking over all of Europe as well as UK. I came across this another crazy video.
Can you drive away, please?
Damn.
Yeah.
But honestly, at the end of the day, if you look at things as to what their scriptures actually teaches them, it might not be every single Muslim that's kind of doing all of these things. It might be a very small majority of them that are causing these havoc all around the world. But what's actually scary about this whole situation is that the religion that they call as a religion of peace, Muslims claim that Islam is a religion of peace. But then every single Muslim that's loyal to his scripture is obviously going to be following what the scripture teaches. And this right here is just a very small example of what the scripture teaches. As in Quran, it basically says, the unbelievers, wherever you find them. Muslims are not to take as friends. That's what it says in Quran. It also says any religion other than Islam is not acceptable. Muhammad crucified the infidels if they criticize Islam. Wow. So you can't even criticize them. That's what their book teaches, that you can't criticize them. And if they do, then you should basically just kill them, is what the book basically teaches. So it also says terrorize and, oh my Lord. You need to behead them and those who believe in the scriptures other than the Quran. These are like the scriptures that the book teaches. Muslims must muster all the weapons to terrorize the infidels. Unbelievers are stupid, and they need to urge to fight them. When the opportunity rises, kill them. Oh my God. Wheresoever you find them. So they say that the Jews and Christians, what they call as perverts, and they need to fight us. So they're Muslim. And if you're watching this and if you're saying, well, you know what? We're not like the guys that are currently destroying and protesting all over Europe and UK. We don't do any of those things. We just pray and carry on with our own lives. But at the end of the day, I genuinely think that if you are a true Muslim, then obviously this means that you're going to be respecting what your Quran teaches you. So these scriptures are sacred. So if this is what they've been doing in Germany, just take a look at the streets of Germany. Like the place that once looked absolutely amazing is now looking like an absolute garbage. Clip right here.
Ever see Sharia law instituted in this country? Forbid! Allah! Forbid!
This is exactly what's going on in Britain, man. Literally, this is exactly what's going on. And it's on in Europe. Look at this stuff. These are like the streets of Europe where people are protesting and declaring that, you know, Poland is a Christian country after the takeover of Islam. I mean, is this even necessary in the first place? I really think that, you know, the government should have taken actions right away in terms of allowing immigrants, because it seems like, you know, they really don't care about the country that they're living in, whereas they're supporting the country that they don't. Best looking places currently looks like this. Damn. That's Paris before and Paris now. Washington before and Washington now. Oh my Lord, dude. This is absolute destruction, to be honest. This is so sad to see that the world is like literally being burned down at this point. Damn, dude. What the government of Australia and the West have been doing so far. This is a public park, like in the streets, in the public park. I really don't know what the hell is even... I really don't see any sort of, you know, necessity to, in order to just go down here in like the public park and do shit like that. They're just trying to send a message that, you know, we have taken over the world. They're basically trying to send a message. It's not about them worshiping, because obviously if they want to worship, they would go to a mosque, do it in a very peaceful way. It seems like they're sending a message to the world that this land belongs to us now and it doesn't belong to you. And you look at this stuff. London Bridge is falling down. I mean, this is what's going on in the London's streets. You can't do this in their country, man. Definitely, you really can't go out there and do stuff like this in their country and just walk back alive. It's never going to happen. They've turned the streets of Birmingham. Look at this stuff. This is Birmingham right now. They're just barbecuing in the streets, man. Oh, damn. Also been vandalizing churches. Look at that stuff. Nobody can do anything about it. Like, they can just do whatever they want, and no one would ever do anything. If you ever did this in their country, if you ever did this to their mosque, do you think you're gonna come back alive? Honestly? taking over schools at this point where they're forcing children in order to follow their religion. All the Christian children are supposed to do it in schools right here. Take a look at this stuff. That's messed up. That's messed up. This right here is from Japan, man. This is from Japan. Take a look at this. Wow, they've even started this stuff in Japan. That's crazy. One thing I really appreciate about Indian government is that these guys, they welcome all the different religions. They don't really discriminate when it comes to religious people. You can follow whatever religion you want. At the same time, they say that we're going to be Hindus. We're going to follow what we like. You can follow what you like. You can stay in our country. But then at the end of the day, when it comes to respecting religious causes, if you respect our religion, we're going to respect yours. But if you start any sort of extremist activity in India, they're going to kick the hell out of your ass. Look at that stuff. They kick the shit out of them. They arrest them, they beat the shit out of them if they do some. Asylum seekers got inside a church and he just stole the crown, and he even stole the Black Madonna crown in front of all the people that are praying and worshiping God, and he wore it on himself. And this dude is from Afghanistan. And this guy, and look at the shit he does right there. Nobody, none of them are doing anything about it. He's even wearing the crown, disrespecting the culture that they're following in their own country. And nobody can do anything about it. This is so freaking, man. The police trucks, man. Like, honestly. They're burning police trucks. Look at the shit. While they're screaming Allahu Akbar. Look at this. That's Berlin. There are people screaming Allahu Akbar. This is just way too much. Way too much. Authorities decides to go break down the houses of these people that vandalized. They break down shops, they break down mosques, and the entire location of where these people live. They just completely broke it down as a payback to what they're doing. You know, they just don't tolerate, man. They absolutely don't tolerate this shit. If you're gonna vandalize our people and just break the peace in our country, we're not gonna let you do that. We're gonna destroy everything that belongs to you so that you remember that this thing, it cannot work in India. You know, you can do that in the West, you can do that anywhere you want, but not in India. That's the kind of message these people are sending in. That's actually pretty good that they're doing it. And take a look at what India is doing in order to not tolerate these things and make sure that it gets shared enough so that all the government of Europe, UK, and America gets to see it and implement very similar actions against these people that kind of destroy the peace and destroy their nation. Honestly, I would love to hear your thoughts down below in the comments. And with that being said, I hope you guys did enjoy today's podcast. If you guys did, smack a big fat like on this video. It really goes a long way. And I will see you guys on the next one. Till then, take it easy, fams, and goodbye.